Good day, everyone. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to join us as we dive into Stonewood's awesome support system, offering marketing, training, and a platform to help your clients with tax mitigation by utilizing IULs and Roth conversions. Before we jump into this amazing product, I am joined by Tyler Randall, National Sales Director from Stonewood. I do have some important information to share about who we are at IAMS and a quick highlight of why our agents love working with our teams. During the webinar, you do have an opportunity at any time to ask any questions in that questions tab there on the webinar. We will get those answered for you at the end. Additionally, we're going to have a few polls as we go through here, so we would appreciate your participation in those polls. First things first, when you call IAMS at 800-255-5055, we're going to answer that call with a live person and get you transferred over to who you need to get to. No worries about dial by name directories, or am I leaving a voice message for somebody who's on vacation. We're going to get you taken care of that day, and typically we get that phone answered within a couple of rings. Our new producer builders are for those who are new to us at IAMS. These bonuses are available based on your production level in your first 180 days of contracting with us. We have great levels that you can qualify at, and as you can see inside each of those levels, there's going to be several different options for you. There's going to be business building tools, personal perks, and even cash rewards. If you'd like to know about where you stand towards your next producer builder, or if you'd like to have a conversation about how to achieve that next level, please give one of our sales directors a call. Another business builders program we provide for our agents is our referred producer program. I do see a couple advisors on us today that have taken advantage of this program. Our business on the wholesale side of the industry, it's similar to yours in the field, and that one of the best leads we could ever obtain is a referral from one of our valued producers. This is why we want to make it worth your while when you refer a producer to us. That being said, when you do refer one over and they get contracted, we're going to send you a $50 thank you check. But where the real money comes in is as your referral writes business, you're going to receive an override on that business. Our ownership team, Charles, Steve, Curtis, and Chris, sign checks for thousands of dollars every quarter. With that being said, if you can think of anyone that could benefit from doing business with our team, please type their information into the questions box, or you can email me at timw@iamsinc.com with that information, and I will reach out to them today. Below that referred producer program is our marketing reimbursement program, which is our most popular program that we offer. For every $100,000 in FIA premium, you're going to get $100 into your marketing reimbursement account. Why this is so popular and lucrative for our advisors is we truly do consider this to be your money. You're going to have the flexibility to apply that to the services that you choose, when and who you choose to use those funds with. It is truly your marketing reimbursement. We don't tell you the vendors that you have to use. We, of course, have vendors that we've partnered with and leverage reduced rates and preferred service. So if you want to capitalize on that, then use those. Additionally, our creative team, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a couple slides, is also an option for those marketing dollars as well. If you'd like to know how much is in your marketing reimbursement account or have a conversation about how to utilize that, give your sales director a call after this webinar. Back office support. This is another way we add value to your business. This is the core of IAMS and how Charles Hearing founded us 36 years ago. We want to help the independent advisor work smarter, not harder. We're going to do that with great business building tools and resources. Of course, advanced case design assistance for both life and annuity quotes is something that we assist with. We're going to get you those illustrations that you need within 24 hours, but typically the team's going to get that done for you in about 1 to 2 hours. Rick, Nikita, Kane, and others do a fantastic job for us. Submissions to commission support is handled by our new business team. Mackenzie heads up the annuity side, and Michelle heads up the life team. They have fantastic teams who work tirelessly to help you get commissioned quickly. We'll scrub your application, submit them on your behalf, do the administrative tracking, and get you the updates on the case as needed. We do this to ensure you get commissioned as quickly as possible, and this is a service that we provide to our valued producers as one way to help grow your business by keeping you in front of clients while our team handles the back office support for you. Our website is a great tool for producers to use and another reason to work with us over here at IAMS. Once you're contracted, you'll have full access to everything that you see on this slide and much more at IAMSinc.com. If you haven't registered for the website, it's very simple to do. So when we're done with this, go ahead and create an account. We'd love to see you on there. There's lots of great resources available for you, including online forums, product grids, product news, agent training, as well as industry updates. Firelight and EAPS. This is a single sign-on at IAMSinc.com. Technology is where the industry is going, and Firelight is a top-notch site streamlining the application process. Most of our carriers are on the EAP platform, so you can go onto one site and submit the business. It is COVID-friendly, and some carriers are going to EAP only for their product lines, or will offer additional commissions for utilizing the EAP platform. Make sure you ask your sales director before you submit a paper app. You can earn more by doing an EAP. Additionally, on those EAPs, typically when they get to the carriers, anywhere between 80 to 93% of those EAPs are going to be in good order. If it's a paper app, the carriers report that is reduced to 40 to 60%. Again, utilizing that EAP not only is just where technology is going, but it's also going to help get that case issued quicker for you. All right. We do have our full in-house creative team that can help you and your practice. A lot of the items are turnkey and available for you. Many of our sales resources are white labeled, so we can simply impose your contact information and business logos on that. Speaking of business logos, Agency Solutions is an area of expertise for our team. If you haven't created a full customized brand for you and your agency, we can help. This is going to assist you with name recognition, which grows your natural market organically. Lastly, digital marketing solutions is a very popular topic around IAMS. We can help you with websites, social media marketing, email marketing, and more. The internet and social media sites are where the overwhelming majority of prospects go to for information. Making sure that you're accessible and represented in those marketing lanes is beneficial to growing your business. Reach out to myself or one of our sales directors when this webinar concludes to see how IAMS Creative can help you and your practice. All right, I've got my first poll of the day. Let's go ahead and just see where everybody's at on that revenue goal. So grab that mouse real quick for me. Are you on track to meet your 2024 revenue goal? Would appreciate your quick response here, as I'm going to go ahead and continue and talk about our marketing analysis. Marketing analysis is a free service that we provide to you as agents. We're going to take a deep dive into your agency as a whole and look for not only short-term but also long-term ways for you to get in front of clients and meet those revenue goals. Let me go ahead and close this poll. Thank you, everybody who voted on that. Okay, so on that complementary marketing analysis, this is a way to develop a roadmap to make sure that as an IMO, we're assisting you with the types of marketing resources that are going to help you be successful. And then also it gets us a plan. So to hit those goals, we need to have a plan, write it down, and then visit that plan. With a lot of my agents and agencies, we're looking at this every quarter to see, are we on track? Do we need to add some more resources to our marketing strategy that's working really well? Do we need to course correct and maybe, change up our strategy? Again, this is a service that we provide for you that is free to you, but is going to add a tremendous amount of value. If you'd like to learn more or get that marketing analysis scheduled, give one of the sales directors a call and we'll get that taken care of for you. We founded IAMS Wealth Management over 6 years ago now. What we've done is grow this division on IAMS very organically. We've helped advisors become IARs and pass the Series 65 at a very successful clip. Once we have you registered, we will bring great value to your practice with an incredibly competitive free structure for both you and your clientele. We do have great technology and an investment platform. This has been a major growth sector of our business, and assets under management could be a major growth sector for you as well. We will be hosting our third academy this September in Omaha, Nebraska. These two-day trainings are an excellent opportunity for our agents who are looking for new ways to grow their business. IAMS does cover all of your expenses for the academy, including travel, hotel, cost of the training, food, entertainment, and everything while you're here with us. You're going to be our guest, but we're going to add a lot of value with around 18 different presenters going over those top marketing strategies that we're seeing a lot of success with. Additionally, we dive into some product highlights And then, of course, networking with other agents across the nation is another highlight. I've got my second poll here, and is that, would you like some more information on the Next Academy? Again, these are free to you, but we add a tremendous amount of value with those presentations. I've had the luck to go to about 7 of these, and every single time as agents are walking out, loading on to the planes there that Friday afternoon, they just tell us how much value we were able to add for them and their practice. Thank you, everybody who participated in that poll. Just got a couple more slides. We'll get this turned over to Tyler, and he'll talk about the Stonewood platform for you guys. Trek to Quebec. We are in the middle of qualification for this phenomenal trip. This is going to be, the qualifications was January 1st of this year all the way to June 30th of next year, so just under a year to qualify. We'll likely have a few periods in that time where maybe trip credits do double, so make sure you talk to your sales director and see if we've got any doubling for any carriers or any time when you're working with us. All right, make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, all the social media, so you are up and running on everything that is coming out here from us over here at IAMS. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and change over the presentation to Tyler. So Tyler, the floor is yours, sir. Well, he's bringing up his presentation. Just want to give a little plug here to Stonewood. Stonewood is a great partner for us over here at IAMS. Not only do they provide a great program for you, but their team is phenomenal. The resources that they're going to provide for you are top-notch quality, and I'm excited to hear what Tyler has to say. So with that, Tyler, take it away.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks, Tim, and appreciate everybody jumping on the call today. I'm just going to take you through things that can help you differentiate your business as far as messaging. I think we've got a real opportunity right now to tell the tax and legislative risk story, which you're going to hear a lot about. People are tuned in to what's going on in Washington, and they're concerned. And there's no way, if you're like me, I'm getting texts every day. You can't get on the radio or TV program without hearing something, some political ad, and people want some answers. And so we're going to be able to give you some marketing through Stonewood that can help you engage folks in more conversations around mitigating tax and legislative risk in their portfolio. We're going to talk about software that can make the presentation simple. And then we're going to talk about training. Those 3 things are what is involved in a Stonewood membership. And so just to talk about how we help advisors tell a little bit different story or sound differently, because a lot of folks are out there doing the same seminars and the same webinars, and that's fine. It certainly works, but we know in this business, if you can differentiate yourself, differences sell. And so I'm going to take you through some messaging that we have available in our marketing catalog. There's a lot of resources there, but I want to talk specifically today about tax message frames and legislative risk message frames, especially how Congress can get together and change the rules on your clients and prospects' qualified money. Not only how it's taxed, but how it's distributed to the family. That's a real risk, and it's something that every couple of years we're going to have to face. And so part of the message frames I'm going to share with you up front is micro tax planning versus macro tax planning. Micro tax planning looks, and it's what CPAs do every year. We look at 1 year individually, and we see how can we help you reduce your taxes this year through deductions and charitable giving and all sorts of other things. It's a very narrow focus. What we encourage you to talk about as a differentiator is to be a macro tax planner, which is how do I help you, Mr. Client or Mr. Prospect, over the next 30 years or 40 years of a retirement, help you reduce taxes, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars. That's what we do at our practice. We are a macro tax analysis, and we help you reduce taxes in a very significant way over your retirement years. And so I think that's a message frame that if you're kind of taking notes, if you are here, that might be something you like, and you can differentiate your business by being a macro tax planner. I'm going to give you a couple other little nuggets here that you may be able to use, and just know that Stonewood offers marketing to support this type of messaging, whether you're doing seminars or webinars or you want one-pagers or white papers on it, we've got you covered. But another message frame we like to use a lot is that from a legislative risk standpoint, the tax code in this country is written in pencil. And that is so true, because every couple of years, Congress is going to get together and they're going to evaluate ways to either increase taxes, reduce deductions, create new taxes. There's all kinds of different levers they can pull. And I know everybody on this call is fully aware of it, but have you seen these volumes, 2 volumes from the Congressional Budget Office? This came out obviously recently, 2022, but you can look at it. It's from 2023 to 2032. It's the Congressional Budget Office. These volumes are each 100 pages long, and volume 1 contains larger proposed reductions in taxes, and not reductions in taxes, but larger reductions when it comes to the deficit. From the deficit, how do we reduce the deficit? Well, here's the proposal, volume 1, larger reductions of the deficit. The volume 2, the next 100 pages, it's literally 100 pages of smaller reductions that can be made to the deficit. If you want copies of these, you can cut and paste that little bullet point down at the bottom for part 1 and part 2. These are available on the government site, and you can, some of our advisors are putting them on their desks just to say, hey, are you aware that these things are on the docket? Every time Congress meets, they're looking at ways that we can reduce the deficit, and generating new revenue is very difficult. A lot of it is going to be increased taxes or new taxes or elimination of deductions that we've had in the past, and it's all covered in these volumes. But saying that the tax code is written in pencil couldn't be more true, and we're going to see a lot of different things coming down the pike. So we talk about, as another message frame, being in an account as an investor versus, and this is like a IRA account, individual retirement account, or a 401k account. Any sort of account that is tax deferred is in the crosshairs of the IRS, and it's certainly bullet pointed in many options in those volumes that I just showed you. So we like to talk about, one bullet point there was being a macro tax planner versus a micro. We also like to talk about helping clients not just be invested in an account, like an IRA account, that's fine, but we don't want to have all our money there. We want to help you be invested in a contract. So why do we like that? Why do we use that message frame? Well, an account is certainly subject to congressional rule and rule change, and it's any sort of tax rate change or rule change, like we saw with stretch IRAs being eliminated and going down to a 10-year payout. Those types of things and tax rates can change on accounts. Contracts, private contracts between you and an insurance company, are very, very difficult to change a private contract. And usually it's on a go-forward basis if it happens. Happens very rarely. So we talk a lot about, as a message frame, being in a contract versus an account. And this is just a differentiator. So I tried to help you, give you a couple of nuggets that you might want to use, or if you like, that you can use. And we're going to talk more about what it means to be in a contract, specifically an IUL contract. So let's talk a little bit about marketing. We've talked about some message frames and the idea of tax and legislative risk being, I think, probably the marketing piece right now that is going to, or the marketing theme that's going to get most people's interest. How can we help you at Stonewood? What resources do you have available? Well, we've built out a number of toolkits that you can reach in and on demand grab and start using some of these messaging that we've created around tax and legislative risk. So you can see the toolkit on the left, the legislative risk toolkit, protecting your retirement from Washington. Anybody want to show up for that seminar or webinar? Does anybody tuning into that one? I think you probably get a lot of interest there. We know the advisors that we have that are using this seminar and webinar are getting some very good attendance and getting a lot of meetings from this seminar. It's built out for you. The speaker notes are there. There's video of us presenting how to present these ideas. If you want to use some email campaigns or social media campaigns or a one-pager like you can see right behind the laptop there, protecting or Washington in your retirement, 4 risks to watch. That's a great lead gen or lead capture white paper that you have access to. That rising tax risk has been probably the last 24 months very, very well used and well received, well attended. That's another toolkit. Again, PowerPoint, seminars. I want to give you a look inside that legislative risk toolkit. Here's some of the things that you could access. As a member of Stonewood, you can grab the seminar. If you want to run email campaigns or use that white paper or client brochures, we have consumer videos, short 1-minute sound bites that you can use and market with. And there's a lot more that's in that toolkit, but just know it's on your dashboard at Stonewood and it's accessible. And I think right now, between now and November, if you're looking for something to really differentiate and sound different from every other advisor in your area that you may be kind of competing with, if you're doing any seminars or public presentations or any sort of marketing, this is a great toolkit that I think has a lot of legs right now. So happy to help you get access to it and share that with you if you have interest. I want to show you another marketing tool that we're using effectively to talk about if it's right to consider a conversion or not. And that's a complicated question. A lot of people have heard about it. They certainly have heard about Roth IRAs. They've heard about conversion planning. They don't really know what it means. And we've got to make it simple in our industry so that a client or prospect can look at it and say, okay, I get that there is a big tax benefit here. How do I get there? And when you start getting those types of questions, those buying questions, now we've got the opportunity where the client or prospect sees that there's an issue and they know you can help them. And so we've built Retirement Tax Bill for you to be able to market with so that you can have and open those conversations very easily and efficiently with clients or prospects. So what we've done is we've built out a landing page like this that has your logo on it, and it asks a very simple question. Could your tax bill in retirement be too big? Find out in 30 seconds. And there's a lot of applications for this. You could take your URL, you'll get a URL that links to a landing page with your custom logo on it, and you could email this out to clients and prospects. You could post a button on your website where somebody could click a button and access this page. You could put it out on your Facebook or LinkedIn and have people run their tax bill there. But what they're able to do, no matter how you do it, and we've built out a whole playbook on how to use this, by the way, I'll share that with you in a minute. They can put in their name, their age, their dollar amount, and their qualified account. And kind of hard to see here, but this is a 60-year-old with $500,000. They filled out their contact information and they're curious what their tax bill is in retirement. So they press a button, and what pops up on their screen is this page that now says, congratulations, you're ready to understand your retirement tax bill. Our team is here to help. Your total potential taxes with your existing approach is $431,000 and change. Total potential taxes with adjustments is $120,000. So the idea of this is to grab somebody's attention that, whoa, that's a big difference between the taxes I could pay on the left and the taxes I could pay on the right. And they can schedule some time with you. Your calendar link can click right here where it says review your results with a financial professional. That can link to your calendar and someone will schedule some meetings with you. And you'll get some meetings that way. But the real call to action is down here at the bottom for them to check their inbox. And what we do with this is we auto-generate a report. You know, this is Bob that filled this out. We send Bob a report. You get CC'd on it. And it goes with this is our boilerplate email to invite them to a 30-minute call to answer questions or see if there's any other taxes that could be saved here through some proper planning. And again, we're trying to do some macro analysis. This is Bob's IRA or 401k held over his lifetime. He's 60, right? Because that's what he plugged in. He held it till RMDs. He started taking his RMDs, and then he dies with this account. And so where is the IRS going to tax him? Well, we give him a little bit more information than just that screen on this report. From RMDs, he's going to have $187,000 in taxes. That's going to be surprising to people. That number by itself on $500,000 bucks. That's the aggregate amount, and people don't see the aggregate amount very often. A lot of people reinvest RMDs, and if they do, they're going to get taxed on investments that and the gains that they make. And so we line item that there, 86,000. If some people are spending their RMDs, terrific. We could eliminate that tax. But if they're a reinvestor, there are a lot of people, and I'm sure you guys have talked to several, that reinvest their RMDs and then they're surprised they get a tax bill on it. Like, hey, I already paid taxes on this money. Why am I getting taxed again? Well, it happens because you're making gains on non-qualified money. And then when they die with the account, the tax is paid on the remaining balance at death is there. So a total of 435. If we reallocate to a tax-free, the taxes are 125. And so this simple report gets the conversation started in an efficient way. And people start to think, what is that reallocation? What is that tax-free? Okay, I should talk to the advisor that sent this to me. And so that report is emailed out. Anybody who runs a report ends up in your Stonewood dashboard as a lead. And now you can pick up the phone and call these guys, or you could use some of our content to drip on them, books and seminars and webinars, invites. You could certainly do that. These leads are there for you to use, and you can plug them into your CRM just by exporting it to Excel and then dripping on them. I think is a terrific way to do it. And just a couple ideas. If you guys are doing seminars or webinars right now, I love the list retargeting bullet point idea here, which is go ahead and make a list this year of anybody who attended your workshops or your seminars and didn't take a meeting with you. Put them on a list, put them on an Excel. Also take anybody that RSVP'd for an event and didn't show up. I know people RSVP all the time. They probably 20 or 30 people RSVP'd for this call that wanted to attend, they just didn't make it. Okay, there's some interest there. Take a list of all the people that RSVP'd and people that attended and didn't take a meeting with you and send them your retirement tax bill page and just say, hey, Tim, hey, sorry we didn't connect at the workshop earlier this year, but this is so important. I wanted you to see it. Take literally 1 minute, Tim, and run your tax bill in retirement. And if you're concerned about the taxes you see, schedule some time with me to talk. You're going to get a report either way, but if it's something you're concerned about, we should really talk. There may be a tax issue we can help with. And guys, we don't care if you end up doing a Roth conversion or not, or a conversion to an IUL. Certainly there's an opportunity there to do some business, but you've started a conversation with somebody, they're looking at their tax bill and they know that you can help them with an issue. You've differentiated yourself, and I think that's the most important thing. If you've done conversions with somebody and they've been happy with it, sending them that web page to a client and saying, hey, do you know anybody else in that situation? Great way to get a referral. These are a couple buttons you can put out on social media or on your website to market this idea. And the great thing is I don't have to spend a ton of money here. We've talked about just engaging our current list, posting this as an option for somebody to run a retirement tax bill report, and they end up as a lead. So there's a lot of us, I know, me included, we've spent a lot of money on marketing in the past, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This is a really efficient way to engage people in that macro tax analysis. And we've built out a whole follow-up funnel you can use. All the content is there. Here's the playbook. If you're doing any digital marketing or social media marketing, the content's built out for you. If you're running radio or TV, this is a terrific call to action there. You can just add this button to your email signature. There's a lot of ways to do it. Here's a client of ours that's down in Florida, member, uses the call to action from his workshops. This is a 90-day look. We just said, hey, how's this working out for you? He shared this information with us. He had about 100 people run reports. 18 of them became clients. And I think all of us would take new clients in any form or fashion. But these clients did 5 million in annuities, 10 million in AUM, and 170K in target. Pretty dang good, right? And all we did is we said, look, we help you in our business do macro analysis. We help you potentially reduce your taxes in retirement, hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you sit down with us, we can take a look and I can show you what we're talking about. And that simple call to action, these reports have led to a lot of client conversations and prospect conversations. That's all we're really hoping to do. That's what we want to help you with. So that's available to you. There's a number of one-pagers and white papers. A lot of people are using that one on the right, Washington in your retirement, 4 risks to watch. You put your logo on it. You can put it out there and say, hey, if you're concerned about this, fill this form out. Give me your contact information and your email address, and I'll send you this white paper. It's a great way to engage people in kind of that tax and legislative risk conversation. If you want a great one pager on IUL, the 5 benefits of IUL there in the middle gets used a lot, and even the one on the left, 5 ways taxes could increase and how to protect yourself. These are all white papers that make you sound different and can engage prospects and clients in a way that they want to have a conversation. So that's available in our marketing catalog. We also have a number of books that you can use. 3 books actually. That New Holistic is the most popular. It's available in a hard copy form. Tells the story of investing in a tax-free. You can see the cover, Emerging Risks for American Savers, how to overcome them with long game thinking, macro analysis, as we've been calling it. You can customize this and write the forward and put your picture and bio on the back. For some reason, if you give a book out, people will take a meeting with you. If you're doing seminars or workshops, these PowerPoints are built out and you can customize them, of course, with your logo. And at the end, what we typically the call to action is, if you schedule a meeting with us, we will do a complimentary tax analysis that your CPA or your state attorney probably will charge you $1,000 for. We do it complimentary because we just want you to walk away knowing what your tax bill in retirement is and some options to reducing your taxes. We'll also give you a copy of the book as you leave tonight if you book a meeting with us. And so that slide, if you have content you already like, if you want to steal that slide and use that call to action to tee up our software and the book, it's a 100-page book. It really pre-educates people before they meet with you on the concepts you're going to talk about. So when they come in, they're asking buying questions. You don't have to spend an hour or two educating them. So that book is there for you to take a look at and utilize. There's a lot of resources there, guys. I just hit the kind of the top ones. When somebody does come in, I'm gonna kind of cook through the software side of this quickly, because I think I've talked a little bit too much. I'm not sure how we're doing on time here, Tim, but I'm gonna go through this fairly quickly. And I would just encourage you, if you want to sit down and have a conversation with me or somebody on my sales team, if this is right for you, if it's something that you want to have access to, there's some options through IAMS. We've got a great partnership here where you can access this content and do it at some discounted pricing. So let's talk about software. Somebody says yes, they've responded to you, and now you're going to sit down with them. We've built our software into three categories. One is the active saver, why they should consider saving in an IUL in addition to, or in some cases, in replacement of their deferred account at work, especially if it's not a matched account. Maybe they could consider replacing it. We look at pre-retirees, 60 and older, where we're looking at conversion planning into a Roth or into an IUL. And then lastly, we built software that gets into product, where we can simplify the IUL conversation, or we can simplify the annuity conversation so that it's easy for people to understand. So I'm going to take you through a case study here that shows the tax and income benefits of standard saver and why they should consider saving in an IUL. So here's a 50-year-old. He's currently putting $6,000 into a 401k that's not matched for purposes of our simplifying this conversation. And what we would put in our software is some tax rate assumptions. We had them at 20% for the first couple of years, bumping them up to 23% in 2016 when the current 2026 when the current tax codes roll back to 2016, and then 26% at death, because a lot of people go from joint filer to single filer. So that's our setup on taxes. The return assumption is a 50-50 portfolio. We attributed 7% to equities, 3.5% to fixed, and a 1.25% account fees. These are all things you can customize to the client or prospect situation. But what do we do once we put this info in is we create a tax and income report. And this is what they look like. The tax report looks like this, and it's very simple. We just say, look, you could keep contributing to your 401k. You will get to defer about $29,694 in taxes. That is a benefit, I guess, that you're deferring taxes for a while. But once you hit retirement and you start taking an income from this, a distribution, systematic withdrawal, the taxes over your lifetime from 66 to 100 are going to total over $80,000. So Mr. Prospect, if I could show you a way to avoid that $81,000 in taxes altogether, that macro amount, would you be interested in hearing about or considering a tax-free savings vehicle rather than just a deferred vehicle? And a lot of times when people see this, they say, absolutely, I certainly would. Another way you could present this page is to say, which one do you want to pay? You want to pay $29,000 in taxes over your lifetime or $81,000 in taxes? And this is a really good question, because if somebody answers it wrong and they say, I'd rather pay $81,000 in taxes, you can reach across the table and you can shake their hand and say, it's nice to know you. And they can send them on their way and you find a new client, right? And that's really easy. So the very simple tax conversation tees up a tax-free investment very nicely. This is what the one pager looks like that you can use. And then we discuss income. And all we're doing when it comes to income is saying, look, you could stay the course with your 401k. Here's about what you would accumulate, 177,000 based on the setup that we put in. The largest withdrawal you could take out of that and make your money last to 100 would be about 9,000, 10,000 bucks. The net, given your tax rate of 23%, is about 6,800 bucks. And the total net benefit is 233. So we didn't use a reasonable withdrawal rate here. We just said, what's the maximum withdrawal I could take from 177? So I zero balance this account at age 100. And that's what our software does. It's just giving them a max value withdrawal. And we've got a snapshot here of what the income would look like, net of taxes, and what the benefit would look like. And so when people look at that and they say, okay, that's about what you're going to get in income. That's what we're trying to accomplish with this slide. The next thing, if you've teed up tax-free, they might say, well, I have a tax-free option in my 401k. It's called a Roth contribution. Why don't I do that? Great, let's look at it. If we do an after-tax contribution into a tax-free, here's the accumulated value. And here is the largest withdrawal you could take is the 7,119, and that is more. And so, of course, if we increase taxes or return numbers, the spread would be bigger. This is not a big spread between the 401k and the Roth, but it's more. It tells people that taxes are important. So we look at that, and then we compare it to an IUL. And you can use whatever carrier you want. We don't care. We don't have a dog in a fight that way. IAMS can certainly help you find the right one that's going to be the most beneficial to your client. But if we save it in the IUL, and we accumulate the value, the participating loans typically give us a higher cash flow, and then the death benefit that kicks in at age 100 here gives us a little pop of total benefit that we can't get in the Roth and the 401k. And so we just see these three options, and here's the one pagers. Each of these reports is probably half a dozen pages, but we can simply say, here's option one, the 401k. Keep doing what you're doing. It's terrific. You can see what you're going to get. You can consider the tax-free, either with me or within your 401k, and you can see the benefit that you get there. Or we could consider the IUL if you qualify for it. We may be able to get you a little higher amount of cash flow and certainly a bigger benefit to the family, over your retirement years. And so 1, 2, 3, and a lot of times when people see their numbers like this, it's a very easy decision to pivot to the IUL from the 401k. So hopefully that helps kind of give you an idea of simplifying the conversation on the tax and income benefit on a saver. A couple other things I'm going to show you just to simplify the conversation. If you enjoy using 30 to 50 page carrier reports to present from, go ahead and keep doing that. If you'd like to keep it simple, like I do, I would take the important data off the illustration. You run the illustration just like you have it run right now, and you plug it into our software, and you get a compliance highlight report that you can use. And so here's the highlight of somebody saving 10 grand in a year for 20 years, the value at retirement age 66, the tax-free cash flow, the average rate of return, and the death benefit all on one page. Very simple to present. A lot of people are visual, so the next page of this report just says, hey, Mr. Prospect, here's what we're doing. We're going to invest $200,000 over the next 20 years. So that's $10,000 a year for 20 years. To get $1.8 million out over your lifetime. Okay, it's this really hits home when you can make it simple like this and it's compliant to use as a supplemental. These are available for you to simplify the process. The last thing I want to show you here is if people say, yeah, but I heard insurance is expensive. Great, get in our cost report analysis, plug in a few data points off the illustration, and you can show them what the cost of this contract is going to be. Now, if somebody blows out of this thing early, it is going to be expensive. But if you hold it, Mr. Prospect, long term, like you should be considering with insurance, that this contract is going to cost you about 33 basis points. How does that stack up to what you thought was expensive? Oftentimes, especially for the active saver, these contracts are very inexpensive over the life of the contract. So if you like this, it's another one-page compliant report that you can use. The second case study I'm going to show you, and I'm going to kind of cook through this one quickly because we discussed it with our total tax, our retirement tax bill marketing program. That was actually born from this report. This is our total tax burden analysis. We use it to consider Roth conversion and conversion to IUL. And we just take somebody's age, their tax rate, and a return assumption. We plug the $500,000 in, and we show them two columns. Here's what your taxes are going to be if you keep your IRA, and where those taxes are going to come from RMDs and a death. And if we reallocate to a tax-free, here's potentially what your taxes could be limited to through some proper planning. And all we're trying to do is open this up for a conversation. We are typically targeting, this says $500,000. I would say that this prospect client probably has $1.5 million, and we're targeting a third of that portfolio. We're not here to advocate, hey, let's blow everybody's dollars completely out of their qualified account into a tax-free IUL or Roth. That's not what we're saying. You could not even do that probably with compliance these days. We're saying we don't know where taxes are going to go. They are probably going to be higher, but we don't know. So let's diversify your tax bill in retirement, just like we diversify an equity portfolio or anything else you're investing in, and get a piece, 20 to 30% of your portfolio. So again, if this guy had $1.5 million, we're saying let's get 30% out of the crosshairs of tax and legislative risk. And that way we know we've got a portion of money that's in a tax-free bucket. So no matter what inflation does, no matter what tax rates do, we've got a bucket of money that has avoided taxes at a higher rate that we can get into a tax-free and let it grow. And so that's the idea behind it. The report is just it's a one-page report. There is tabular data to support how we get to these numbers. So for your CPAs and engineer type folks that want to see that, we can prove those numbers out pretty quickly. And then you can also evaluate the income again. And this is just, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. It's here's what you're doing now and the income you could expect. Systematic withdrawal from your qualified account. What about converting to a Roth? What does that look like and what's the total benefit? And what about if we convert to the IUL? What's the IUL look like if we pay the taxes, the 100 grand here in this example, we take and do this 5-pay, 80,000 a year. I think we'd all take one of those contracts, right? On a conversion, that's a pretty nice, not only is it a nice contract, pretty nice revenue generator for your business. And you can look at the difference. We've got three options. Keep doing what you're doing in the IRA, convert to Roth, or convert to the IUL. You tell me which one you want to do. We for sure can keep doing what you're doing or convert to the Roth. The IUL we do have to qualify for. And that's why we tee it up. We can help you create these reports. They're very simple evaluations. So that's how we would keep the conversion simple for a Roth or an IUL and show the tax and income benefits of both. The last thing I want to do is show you the software for the annuity. So if you have folks that are considering the annuity for the conversion on the Roth conversion, or just want to consider an annuity in general, here is our Annuity Alpha software. And what we're trying to do, this is specifically for income annuities, and we built it so that we could show somebody in a simple way how much returns they would need to generate on their own for their money in their 401k account, or maybe it's a brokerage account over at Edward Jones. We want to be able to share with them that you'll have a very difficult time replicating the cash flow that the annuity provides you in your brokerage account. In fact, you're probably going to need 10, 15, 20% a year guaranteed to replicate the annuity. And so how do we do it in a simple way? Well, that's where we get on our Annuity Alpha software, and we can plug in the client info. This is a 65-year-old with 100 grand, gonna retire at 70, okay? Again, she may have 300 or 400, 500,000 bucks, and we're presenting a $100,000 annuity as part of the portfolio, part of the plan. So we plug that in. we would plug in some return assumptions. You can do whatever you want. We did a 6% blended rate on a 50-50 portfolio. Let's just say this is at Edward Jones. They're charging her 1.5 on our money. And then you can run whatever annuity illustration you would like. We just need the lifetime income amount at age 70. And that's what we're going to plug into our software and be able to process how much returns you're going to need at Edward Jones to match the cash flow from 11,265. So once we put this data in, it's a very simple report to run. We create 2 pages that really we're going to present to a client. One is, Mr. Miss Client, here's the income that you're going to be able to get. If you live to be 105, you're going to keep getting that income. It's for life, okay? If you wanted to take that same level of withdrawal from your Edward Jones account, you could certainly do that, but you couldn't do it for very long because that amount is too high to be supported by the returns you're getting in your portfolio. You need to take more risk, or you're going to need to generate more returns in some form or fashion if you want to match the income from the annuity. And I'm going to show you the returns you'd need here in just a minute, but this shows you that distribution amount, you're going to run out of money at age 83. If you want the money to last, that's your goal, longevity, which is whatever, people don't want to run out of money. The more reasonable distribution rate you could take is about $7,800. So it's about $4,000 less. And that money will last till 95. Then you're going to zero balance this thing. That's the maximum you could take to make your money last. And it also does not assume that the market ever has a hiccup. In other words, there's no sequence of returns risk here, because we're just saying if the market delivers that 6% rate of return each year, year in and year out, you could take $7,800. If you want to take a more safe rate or reasonable withdrawal rate, the income's probably going to be less than this, okay? This is the maximum you could take out, and that's about almost $4,000 less than the annuity. And the last part of this report says, okay, if you want to match the annuity and you want your money to last till 95, what you would have to guarantee out of your current portfolio is almost 9%, 8.62%. And that doesn't seem that bad, although I don't know too many people on this call that are going to guarantee that to anyone. Out of this 50-50 allocation for this client who's 65, 4% has to be the growth rate out of the fixed side of it, doable probably with interest rates where they're at. But the equity side would have to deliver over 13%. And unless Bernie Madoff's on this call, nobody is guaranteeing 13% a year to their clients. And that is a really easy way to say, look, you could try to do this on your own. You're probably going to fail. You're probably going to run out of money, or you're going to have to take more risk. How about we allocate to the annuity and we give you guaranteed lifetime income at a rate that's really, really difficult for us to do without the annuity. And that's the simplicity of that annuity alpha. So if you think that may be helpful to you as you present income annuities, then talk to us at Stonewood and we can get you access to it. We can run some cases and help you close more business. It's been a really nice report for us. The last thing I want to hit, and then we're going to close this up, is the training component to what we do. We have a live event conference. It's in person. Our next one and last one for the year is next week in Louisville, Kentucky. We'll run one again in February. But if you said, hey man, this is pretty good stuff, I'd like to take a deeper dive on how people are using the marketing, how they're using software, how we're using the lead gen. That's all we do is best practices at this conference. You're going to hear from other advisors that have had success, and you're going to come out of it being really tuned into this, our messaging that helps differentiate your business, tax and legislative risk, and using the resources that we have to be able to implement in your business so that you can simplify your life from a presentation standpoint, be effective in the marketing and close more business. And so that's what that conference, our Innovate conference, is about. It's included in your membership at Stonewood. We also do regular study groups. We do a quarterly State of the Union call, which is what's happening in Washington. Our CEO spent a number of years under the Bush administration, and so she's always plugged in to what's happening in that congressional budget report, what's happening with votes in Congress, what's being proposed, what's being talked about. All of those things are public information. She usually boils it down into a white paper for our members, so we talk about it in these quarterly State of the Unions so that you can be sharp on this, on these topics, and just know what legislative risk is out there so that we can share some of those concerns with our clients or prospects if you feel it's appropriate. We do assign you a Stonewood Success Coach to do one-on-one case consulting, and that's just an extension of the IAMS team. We're just specifically here to help you with Stonewood. And then we do have a number of on-demand learning, so it's there that you can access and utilize. So those are the training components. Our memberships are broke into two membership types. We have an IUL membership and a premium, an annuity membership. That's just software for the IUL, software for the annuity. And then we have one that combines both. And so for $199 or $299 a month, you can access all of these resources and plug them in. There's no commitments on time here. We just, it's our job to make sure you're getting a value and an ROI out of this. Otherwise, you won't be a member for very long. And so we do have a very high membership retention rate, and it's because we're always putting things in there that we feel are useful to differentiate your business, simplify your lives, and close more business. And so you can get an ROI on this pretty quickly. So if this is of interest to you and you want to have a conversation with myself or our sales team to implement this, circle back certainly with Tim or schedule some time with me. Happy to take you through this and help you get access and start utilizing some of this software marketing to help in your business. So that's really all I've got. I'll kick it back over to you, Tim. Appreciate everybody for joining us today, and thank you for your time and attention. Hope you have a great rest of the day.
Awesome. Thank you, Tyler. As a reminder, if you do have any questions, we've got a couple more minutes here. I do have a couple questions that have already been asked, so still plenty of time to do that. Before I do that, let me get this last poll out here, and that is, would you like some more information about Stonewood's platform and legislative risk kit? So I've got that going on here. As you answer that question, Tyler, for you, the most asked question is the IUL return guaranteed? How do you answer that question from a client?
Yeah, it's a good question, and of course, there's not a guarantee that's in there. You do have a credit rate that you can run your illustrations, and I'm sure the team at IAMS can help you run that at whatever level that you think is appropriate and that you feel good about. The max credit rate, they call it a max credit rate these days. It's kind of a complicated thing, but it's an average of an average of an average over 30 years. And that it's actually more of it's about as conservative of a number as you can get as you look at showing this. So I feel pretty comfortable with it. We're happy to talk to you more about it. But, when it comes to the IUL, the illustrated rate, the max illustrated rate is kind of the average of the average of the average over several market cycles over 30 years. Is a very kind of simplistic way to describe it. And so most of the time it's, 5.75, 6% maybe these days. So I feel pretty comfortable with the asset allocation being able to produce those types of returns. But you could certainly illustrate it with a less than a max credit rate if you wish, if you feel more comfortable.
Awesome. Next step, let's say agent is ready to get onboarded. What does that onboarding process look like, and what types of support do you give them to help them understand and work the program and software?
Yeah, it's a good question. So you would get on either our website and sign up with IAMS actually has a website, gets you some access to it. Once you get a login and password, you would access our dashboard that has our software, our marketing, and all the content. We do schedule you for an onboarding with our team to take you through how to customize that content, use the lead gen, use everything that's there, show you how to use the software, and you'll always have access to our team members' calendar so that any support that you need, you can get it. And then, of course, you'll get the invites to our study groups, you'll get our invite to our conference, and we hope that you can attend all of it, but you certainly would get the support of our team until you get to a point where you just are like, hey, I got it. This is easy. I know where to access everything. I know where to run reports. I'm feeling very comfortable with it. And you're kind of off and running on your own, which is terrific. But you'll always have what we call our Stonewood Success team to be able to tap into if you need it.
Gotcha. One last question here. So IAMS pays for the a base subscription to Stonewood. Is that still correct?
Yeah, we've got so the case study, if you remember our active saver case study, people where we're looking to allocate dollars into an IUL instead of or in addition to a 401k, you can access that through talk to Tim and talk to the folks at IAMS, and you can access that and that package is picked up through IAMS. So there's no cost to you, but it's limited to just the saver, the saver category and the saver marketing. It doesn't have the tax and legislative risk component. It does not have the conversion component. It doesn't have the lead gen stuff. That you can add on for the monthly amount, $199 or $299 a month.
Awesome. So that leads me to my next and final point, and then we'll get everybody out of here. So if you're ready, you like the IUL tools, you like the Annuity Alpha tools, the RTB, you want to get going with that, awesome. We can get you that landing page that's custom for IAMS agents and get you onboarded with Tyler and the team. If you're on the fence, but you see that there's going to be some validity, there's some good value to Stonewood, give it a test drive, still do the onboarding, access some of the information that they have right now, and then I'd work with Tyler and the team on whether it's Annuity Alpha or the IUL platform, and get going on that. Maybe do a little bit of just the free version here for 2024, and then turn it on in 2025. But have a plan and utilize Stonewood. I mean, this presentation, this software, this tools, the amount of training is fantastic. And the other thing is the topic is relevant, right? There's so many people who are concerned about what that tax bill is going to be. And many of those folks have failed to prepare. So unfortunately, they're going to fail when they get to that part of their retirement. So be that resource for your clients that they need, and log on, take the advantage of IAMS covering that base membership, and then also look into those other avenues because they're going to add a lot more to your practice. So, Tyler, any last comments there before we get out of here?
No, appreciate you having me. Thanks for your time, and if we can be of service, please let us know.
Awesome, everybody. Thank you for hopping on. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Bye now.